Excellence. Fresh Boy Production.
What is going on? This is Coach Coleman, Jesse Coleman, and you're checking into Breakthrough Blueprint, the podcast where we help you tap into your full potential. What is going on? How you doing? What is happening? Hope you all have had a great week. Hope everything's going good. Hope you all are being, successful. Whatever the case may be. Hope everything is going well for you all. Um, Not too much update with sports. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of update as of right now as I'm recording this week. Michigan Wolverines are now the number one team in the nation. Shout out to them. Got two big games this week. Big game against Purdue and a big game against Duke Duke this Saturday. But it's all good. I'm getting ready to head to Atlanta, go down there with my people for a great, event, our national convention, for the people in the real estate world. We're going to be down there. I'm hosting a lunch like I usually do. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to that. But we're going to get right into it. We're not going to, beat around the bush or play around with today's episode. And um, today's episode is going to be a little bit different, right? You know, we're going to talk about a wake up call. And one thing that that came from this past week, and I'm gonna share the story with you all, is just me thinking this is that you can build a business, you can chase the goals, you can raise the standards, but your body breaks down, and you know if that happens, none of that matters, right? So like last week, and I got it right here. I was gonna put it on the screen, but I got it right here. Like last week, um, I traveled to Grand Rapids, which was a great class. I had a class there, and the night before driving up there, you know, I I ate some tacos. Right, it was the Bara tacos, and I know I'm slandering it, so don't kill me in the comments. Right, so I ate that. Woke up that morning, did a little 2 mile fasted cardio, just light place walking. Then I had Lonnie went to teach the class, but on the ride home, right, and my sister went with me. Like I was always complaining about my neck hurting. And I thought it was just from working out, but when I take a look back at it, I could see it was something more different than that. So on the ride home, my chest and my shoulder started hurting, and then it kind of moved down to my elbow, and I'm like, okay, I know I did chest that Monday, so I can see why my shoulder may be hurting a little bit, right? But I haven't did anything as far as triceps for why my elbow could be hurting. So they got concerned, and so I get home, I eat some stuff. So I ate like a sandwich or so on the way home. Then when I got home, I had a slice of pizza. I had a few pieces of chicken, right? But it just really started hurting more and more. So I said, hey, you know what? Let me check my blood pressure. So when I checked my blood pressure, the first reading I had right here, right, was 174 over 95. And then it fluctuated a little bit. And then the next reading after that was 172 over 101. And that was one of those things that forced me to have a real conversation with myself about stress, discipline, and what is the number one what is the priorities for me, right? And this episode, I'm going to dive a little bit into that. Like we're going to talk a little bit about business, but I do want to take a minute to talk about like how are we taking care of ourselves, right? We treat our bodies like machines. We expect them to operate without maintenance. And take this from a person that works out a lot, that it's still about what is that engine oil? What type of gas are you putting in your car, right? Let's think of it like a car. Think of our bodies as a car. It has a bunch of moving parts, right? You can go get a car wash. You can put air freshener in there. You can get the tires shine. You can do all those things. But if you're not taking care of the maintenance, if you're not doing the inside work for that, that's when shit goes wrong, right? And I'll be honest with you, seeing that 174, that 172 over 101 on the screen, like a whole bunch of thoughts just started going through my mind, especially that, my shoulder and my elbow was hurting. Like, those are one of those things like, shit, am I having a heart attack? Am I having a stroke? And so what I ended up doing is I realized that I didn't take my blood pressure pill yet. I am back on blood pressure pills, with me, lifting a lot heavier and bulking up. I have been eating some stuff and putting on weight. A big majority of that is muscle, but you still put on weight when you're bulking up. So there were some times I was eating BS, right? So I'm just automatically feeling like, oh damn, like this is not good. And for you all who followed the pod before, you all know that I went to the hospital last May 8th. I can remember the date for an abnormal heartbeat that came from stress, and of course those damn energy drinks, right? But I'm like, okay, I had to start relaxing. I took so I had two different blood pressure pills. I remember my doctor saying if there's ever a situation where you need to, you could take both those pills at the same time. So I took both those pills at the same time. I started researching stuff. I saw that beet juice is a great thing. So I got that. And it was one of those things where it was that shift from I'm fine to this is serious that it really hit me like, bro, you do a lot of teaching, you do a lot of talking about how, time and how we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. And it was one of those things to where like, are you practicing what you preach? And it also made me realize and think about like stress does not ask for permission. It accumulates over time. Stress is that silent killer. Like that plays another part of it. Like if you cannot, and I talk about this on the podcast a lot, you all know this, is that if you cannot you personally change something, we can't stress over it. Like we can't. If we cannot personally change these things, there's no reason we should stress over it. Right? Here's the crazy part about it. Like you can ignore your body until it won't let you no more. We all been there. Like, and when people talk about like, man, I just overslept. Like my body just said no more. My body shut down. Like that is one of those things. Like our body will let us know, like, hey, it's a wrap. We're not doing it today. So, over the past few days, like I've been doing so much, like I was catching myself eating chips. Of course, the energy drink. I'm not gonna say a name because it's not what I realize is with the past two situations that happened, it wasn't a specific brand. It was just like, hey, bro, you can't do all that caffeine, especially when your blood pressure is high. So I can say right now, this morning I had two readings. One was 126 over 100. The other one was 131 over 94. Still a little bit elevated, yet I'm doing the things I need to do to bring it down. And and again, I like to take a lot of stuff that happened in life to and related to the pod, and do an episode of that. And this made me think of like high performance versus high stress, right? Entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders love to wear stress as a badge of honor. Like, love to do that. Everybody's just pushing, everybody just push through. You can't do that. At the end of the day, if we're not doing maintenance on the body, it does not matter what we're trying to be successful at. That shit is not going to be beneficial. So when you think about it, you got deadlines, you got responsibilities, you got pressure from this, always got to be on. Like, especially my business owners, my entrepreneurs, where a lot of times you are working longer hours, you are working long, extra days. So you're always having to be on. You're always having to show up for other people, and that drains on us. We prioritize everything else except for ourselves. And if you're listening to this, you say no, I don't. There are some people who don't. They have mastered these things, but majority of the people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, or in some form of leadership fashion, you prioritize everything else except for yourself. I'm talking about clients. I'm talking about business, family. Having to get social media content, deadlines that's approaching, but what we need to do is schedule things for ourselves. Now, this sleep is one big thing that I'm like, bro, I got to get back on it. I used to wear that as a badge of honor. I am not gonna lie. I'm not gonna BS you around. Where I used to be like, oh, I can move off of 3, 4 hours of sleep. Like, I'm good. That plays a part on you. That wears you down, right? Checkups. I I remember when I was younger, and I had a conversation with a few people, and we joked about this. Like when we were younger, like we were never trying to go to the doctor. Now I'm trying to go to the doctor for every single thing. Hey, run all the blood work, take all this, and do whatever you like. Take as much blood as you need, and I'll come back and give more blood next month. I want you to check every single thing. But we have to schedule these things. Again, we have to prioritize ourselves. Mental breaks. What are you doing to take care of yourself mentally when you are having breakdowns, when shit isn't going right? What is your contingency plan? And I always talk about the contingency plan. What is your contingency plan to make sure that you are okay mentally? And then we got to be intentional about recovery. That's another thing that, I have to get back on. Like I said, I've been like, oh, my shoulder probably hurt because, I've been really pushing. I've really been, working out. I haven't really been recovering. Well, I got to be more intentional about that. I got to get back on my recovery plan. Again, we have to stop prioritizing everything else and putting ourselves on the back burner because at the end of the day, if we are not how we should be, nothing is going to be how it should be, right? Like things can go, but the likelihood of those things being able to continuously operate the way it's supposed to operate is not going to happen. And we all know this, right? Stress is a silent killer. But here's the thing: stress is silent until it's not, right? Like for me, high blood pressure doesn't scream at you daily. It was a few times, like in the past, like I've dealt with high blood pressure, especially when I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to do, where I had times when my blood pressure was so high that it was screaming at me on the daily, like I was having headaches. I smelled blood. Like shit like this is real. But for the most part, if you don't know if you've never dealt with high blood pressure or know the signs, you may think it's just something else. And it just quietly build time over time over time, right? It's just like burnout. Like it just constantly start compounding time over time, just keep going, just keep going. And it one of the things where it just finally gets you, right? It's just like burnout. It's just like emotional fatigue. Stress does not explode, it compounds. It compounds over time to where even little things, somebody cut you off in traffic, something goes wrong where now, you're just stressed out because of that. Other stuff is happening, you stressed out over that. And again, one of the things that I talk about so much and that I'm really thinking about is like, if you cannot personally yourself control these things, stop stressing over it, right? And, going a little bit further into that, I think it's a question we have to ask ourselves is like, what are we building for, right? What are we truly building for? Is it to build generational wealth? Is to be able to take care of our family? Is it to, be successful? But what is the point of success if your health is collapsing? What is the whole point of it? Again, you work so hard, stressing, going 9 to 9, putting in all that work, and then you're not even able to reap the benefits of your, reap the benefits of your work, right? And then another thing, like I want you to ask yourself this other question: Are you truly modeling sustainable discipline, or are you modeling self destruction? Here's what I think about, right? If I'm modeling and sustaining discipline, okay, I know I'm working long. Okay, pack healthy food. Work on getting 10 to 15,000 steps in a day, right? Or is it self destruction? Oh, let me go grab this one bag of potato chips. That ain't gonna do nothing. Let me go grab this, this one can of pop. It's not gonna do nothing. That shit compounds over time. It just constantly compounds over and over again. And another thing is about being a hypocrite. You can't lead others if you're ignoring yourself. How are you leading other people into a position where they want to be the best version of themselves, or where they should be showing up how they supposed to show up for themselves, when we're not showing up for ourselves like that. We're ignoring ourselves. Right. If we supposed to be leading others, we have to know health is a leadership decision, right? Fitness is not a fad. Fitness is not the oh, the shit you see on social media. Now, granted, I do post some every now and then when I work out, but it's one of those things where it's not just for a fad. It's a responsibility. I've had people when they know me go for 315 pounds to 200 pounds all by myself. No surgery, no pills, no shots, none of that, just hard work. And it was an example for them. And so I felt it was a responsibility. Sleep is not a sign of weakness. Take this from somebody who used to hang his hat on. Hey, listen, I can work off of 3, 4 hours sleep. No, no, that is not a badge of honor. Sleep is not weakness, it's strategy. When I can get full 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which I haven't done that in a while, like now I'm pushing about 5 to 6, but I even feel the difference of doing that. It's strategic, it's strategy. And here's the thing. I love my boy David Goggins. I read all his books whenever I need to get in the mood. I listen to him. There's a funny meme that's going on when somebody say, "Oh, it's rest day," and they go and open up TikTok, and it's David Goggins. Like, you a bitch. You really are a bitch. Here's the thing: recovery is not being lazy. Recovery is not, being a bitch. It's preparation. When you're able to recover and put yourself in a better place, you're more prepared to attack the things you need to attack. Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about standards, right? We've been talking about non-negotiables and how our standards are in alignment with our goal. But your standards also apply to your health. It also applies to your body. We can't just look at everything else and just push that to the side. No, that is a part of who we are, right? So our standards are a part of our body too. So we got to make sure our standards are in alignment with that. Right. So here's some of the things that I've been doing, and I want to give this to you all. I want to give you some practical things that I've been doing to for me to adjust, especially over this past week. So I've been monitoring my blood pressure like 3, 4 times a day. I did it twice this morning. When I get back to the crib, I'm gonna do it 3, 4 more times. I am gonna monitor that shit. Even when I go out of town, I decided that I'm gonna pack my monitor with me, so when I'm out of town, I could check it. Right. Two, reducing unnecessary stress. If I cannot personally, physically change something, I am removing that as a thing out of my mind to be stressed about. Right. Reevaluating workload. So what that looks like for me, and I can say this was for me, is being purposeful about the time and doing what I'm supposed to do in the time I'm supposed to do it. Right. So that's going to be me reevaluating the workload. For you listening, reevaluating the workload may mean you need to get leverage. You need to bring something else on board to help you to remove some things off of your plate. Improving sleep. I'm shooting for 7 to 8 hours right now. Like I said, I'm between 4 to 6 hours. I am shooting for 7 to 8 hours per night. So that means if I got to get in bed around 8 or 9, shut everything down, I'm doing that because I get up early. I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to hit the gym. So I want to make sure I get better at that. Here's here's the thing. It's one of those things where better, like better, but you still be on bullshit with it. And that's clean eating. I know what it takes. I know the things I should not be eating. Like, I know I shouldn't be eating salty ass tater chips. I know I shouldn't be eating overdoing the pizza. Like, moderation. Like, if it's moderation, cool. But other than that, I am I am just doing, getting back to my clean eating. The workouts, I'm good on. Like, I'm already intentional about my workouts. Yet it's one of those things of now getting my cardio back increased. getting back on the right track with that. So again, those are practical things for me. We know dealing with high blood pressure that I do to make sure I'm on the right track. And the thing is, just make it real, make it grounded. It don't take it. It don't have to be extreme. You don't have to overthink it. It doesn't have to be taken to a whole nother level, right? It could just be those things to get you back on track. So, again, at the end of every episode, I always give you all a challenge. So, first challenge, ask yourself, when was the last time you checked on your health? When have you gone to the doctor, get a full physical? I mean, blood work done, get a heart rate monitor, checking your things. When was the last time you do that? Second, are you treating your body like a long term asset? Like, are you treating your body as if it's something that you want to make sure is around forever? And then check on yourself. What are some habits that's quietly hurting you? I know for me, it was sneaking those bags of chips. Oh, you know what? Let me get a diet pop, which diet pops are damn near worse than the regular pops. You know what? I'm just gonna get one Alani and use that before I work out. What are those habits that are quietly hurting you? What are those things that you know you need to change? And here's the thing I'm gonna say. And actually, I got this quote just out of nowhere. It's like you can't hustle your way out of biology. Like for real, you can't hustle your way out of biology. You can't hustle your way out of you know shitty diets. I know a lot of people do that. Like, oh well, I just work out harder to make up for that. No, you can't. Again, think of a car. If you get bad gas, bad oil in the car, no matter how much you wash it, that shit is still gonna hurt you. So, I just wanted to share that for this episode about what I dealt with last week. And, we just got to take care of ourselves. We can't always be Superman for everybody else, but we don't, be Superman for ourselves. So this is your boy, Coach Coleman, Jesse Coleman. Thank you all for checking into another episode of Breakthrough Blueprint, the podcast where we help you tap into your full potential. I'll see you next week. Peace.